You're watching ABC7 News at 4, starting with First Alert Weather.
Good Monday afternoon. It's back, the heat that is, and the humidity coming back a little bit after a great weekend with comfortable temperatures on Saturday, a little bit warmer on Sunday. We have had some sunshine with some clouds occasionally moving overhead in advance of the next cold front. There's going to be a weak cold front moving on through, but right now no real significant rainfall expected with that. Again, you can see what our current conditions are. We have a few clouds around. It's 81 now, slightly above average, and the dew point temperatures come up. It's now at 68 degrees and the pressure 30.04 inches. Winds are out of the west-northwest at 5. The evening planner looks nice. We'll see just a few clouds around 70 degrees, and so it's going to stay a little bit warmer than it has over the past couple of nights. The enhanced satellite imagery showing some of those high clouds streaming in overhead associated with the subtropical jet stream. There's a cold front way back there by Texas and Louisiana, which will bring us slightly cooler readings in the morning. That doesn't happen, though, until Wednesday morning. And then you can see those winds. Basically, a little sea breeze has developed, blowing that impacts of red tide back toward the coast, unfortunately, again. As far as temperatures go statewide, 69 in Pensacola to 83 now in Key West, 81 in Sarasota, and temperatures around town all in the upper 70s. Cortez now at 76. The Gulf water temperature has cooled down to 74 degrees. Well, more on that front and what it means for our Thanksgiving and for the weekend following coming up in just a few minutes. Jacqueline, Scott.
Thank you, Bob. Now to our top story. Environmentalists say there may be a natural way to fight back against red tide.
After a season in which algae blooms killed thousands of fish and cost businesses millions of dollars, they say the solution may be in shellfish. ABC7's Erica Jackson has a closer look at the process. Erica?
Jacqueline, Scott, good evening. More than 3,600 pounds of clams from Pine Island now sit behind me in Sarasota Bay, and now they are filtering through the water. Volunteers with the group Sarasota Bay Watch released its 5th set of clams into the bay this weekend to clean the water. They may also benefit the water quality by reducing levels of red tide. While clams and oysters can improve our water, Florida Fish and Wildlife warns red tide toxins accumulate in their tissue, making some recreationally harvested shellfish unsafe to eat. Now, coming up tonight on ABC7 News at 6, we'll share how you can make sure the shellfish that you plan to consume are safe for you to eat. Reporting live on Sarasota's Bayfront, Erica Jackson, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
All right, Erica, thank you. Investigators have identified the man shot and killed while driving in Bradenton late Saturday night. Deputies say 22-year-old Breon Pittman was found dead in a vehicle on 17th Street East in Bradenton. Witnesses say they heard gunshots and then saw a vehicle crash into a ditch. The passenger in the car then took off. Deputies searched the area but were not able to find them. Anyone with information should contact Manatee County Sheriff's Office at 747-3011. Sarasota County Sheriff's deputies say a man wanted in connection with a shooting at a Sarasota church has turned himself in. Joaquin Vasquez Sosa was wanted on charges of aggravated assault and battery with a firearm following the September shooting. Deputies were called to a large party at St. Wilfrid Episcopal Church on September 8th for reports of a fight with shots fired. Deputies say a man was shot in the leg. That victim was treated and released from the hospital. Family and friends will remember a young Sarasota woman who was killed in a drag racing accident. 24-year-old Kat Moeller killed last Thursday night at Sebring International Raceway. Investigators say she was driving a jet-propelled dragster when she hit a timing device on the track and crashed. Sheriff's investigators say debris hit her helmet, likely causing her death. A funeral for Moeller is scheduled to take place at Epiphany Cathedral Church in downtown Venice at 6 o'clock tonight. The burial will take place tomorrow morning at 11 at Sarasota Memorial Park. Jacqueline joins us now with more on President Trump's visit to California to survey the devastation from those wildfires.
Scott, President Trump is back in Washington today after touring the charred ruins in Malibu and Paradise, California. The president thanked first responders for their work, but still blamed forest management for those fires. Earlier on Saturday, Trump said he thought there were a lot of factors involved when asked about the role of climate change in contributing to those fires. Without explaining himself, the president said the floors of the forests need to be taken care of, and he talked about the need for raking and cleaning.
I was with the president of Finland, and he said we're much different. We're a forest nation. He called it a forest nation. and they spend a lot of time on raking and cleaning and doing things, and they don't have any problem.
Finland's president responding, saying he is not sure where Mr. Trump got the idea that raking is part of his country's routine for managing forest fires. Christopher Watts will live out his days in prison after murdering his pregnant wife and 2 daughters. The Colorado man was sentenced today for killing 34-year-old Shanann Watts, 4-year-old Bella, 3-year-old Celeste, and their unborn son. He took a plea deal to avoid the death penalty. A judge sentenced the 33-year-old to life in prison without parole for the 3 murders and 48 years for unlawful termination of a pregnancy. While a motive for those killings was not given, prosecutors did reveal new details on how the victims died.
I could objectively say that this is perhaps the most inhumane and vicious crime that I have handled out of the thousands of cases that I have seen.
Shanann was strangled and the 2 girls were smothered. The oldest daughter, Bella, bit her tongue several times, trying to fight back. Democrat Nikki Fried says Republican Matt Caldwell has conceded in the race for Florida Commissioner of Agriculture. Machine and manual recounts have been completed in the race. According to the state's website, Fried scraped by with 50.04% of the vote compared to Caldwell's 49.96%. In a tweet, Nikki Fried said her opponent could not have been more gracious in his concession call, and she congratulated him on a close race. Meanwhile, the chaotic recount likely led to the resignation of a South Florida elections official. The supervisor of elections in Broward County, Brenda Snipes, will reportedly resign in January. The South Florida Sun-Sentinel reporting Snipes turned in her resignation letter yesterday. Snipes has been the top elections official in Broward since 2003, but she's been heavily criticized for how she handled this year's election in the recount. On Saturday, Snipes acknowledged that her office had misplaced more than 2,000 ballots during the recount. Stay with us. Still to come, why the Florida House is looking to intervene in a potentially far-reaching legal battle in the state's medical marijuana industry. Plus, what you need to know before going through security while traveling on Thanksgiving. And later today, Sarasota City Commissioners will discuss reducing the rules for short-term rentals, how that move could make it easier for vacationers.
Each day, researchers make discoveries that bring us closer to the moment when all cancer patients can become survivors. Their progress is made possible with the help of clinical trials. Clinical trials are the brightest torch researchers have to light their way towards better treatments. And if you've been diagnosed with cancer, they may be your brightest ray of hope. Speak with your doctor and visit standuptocancer.org/clinical trials to learn more. Together, we can stand up for all of us.
There's nothing like this trail in Alabama. It just goes from the northern part of the state to the southern part of the state. We see all kind of different terrains, great value, great fun. We've been coming for 18 years. We started off with a group of 8, grew to 12, and grew to 16. And we love it because where else can you get world-class golf courses with world-class accommodations? To be able to play these type of courses in this environment, and the difficulty keeps us coming back over and over and over again.
Rugs as Art, Sarasota's only area rug superstore.
Helping families with mesothelioma is all we do. My firm has been offering a free book on mesothelioma for over 10 years. Since that time, hundreds of people with mesothelioma have trusted us to represent them. We have local offices throughout the U.S. and there is no risk to you. Mesothelioma really is all we do. Call us at 1-800-485-6000. That's 1-800-485-6000. Or go to mesoonlylaw.com.
Our nurse, Jennifer, all we did is pick up the phone if I was having a bad day, and the next thing we know, she was here at the door. I can't believe that I would have received any greater care anywhere. From that moment on, everything changed dramatically. And I don't know what we would have done without that.
Recovery from mental and substance use disorders is real.
You can recover.
It's possible. It happens every day.
Never give up on yourself.
Discover hope and help.
The world is a beautiful place again.
Join the Voices for Recovery. For confidential information for mental and substance use disorders, call 1-800-662-HELP.
A Tallahassee judge has refused to allow the Florida House to intervene in a medical marijuana lawsuit. A Leon County Circuit judge says the Republican-dominated legislature should sue the federal government if lawmakers are unhappy that he struck down a 2017 pot-related statute as unconstitutional. During a hearing today, the judge rejected the House's request to intervene in the challenge filed by Floragrown. The company is challenging a state law aimed at implementing a voter-approved 2016 constitutional amendment that broadly legalizes medical marijuana.
None of this makes any sense to me because it's a constitutional amendment, and as my attorney said, if you want to respect the Constitution, follow the Constitution. It's as simple as that.
Last month, the judge found fault with parts of the law that capped the number of marijuana licenses and created a vertical integration system that requires marijuana operators to grow and process cannabis and distribute those related products. Tonight at 6, Sarasota City Commissioners will take a closer look at short-term rentals. Right now in Sarasota, renters cannot lease out places for less than 7 nights. And with the rise of Airbnb or home sharing, some think it's time to reduce government intervention. But opponents say allowing rentals of less than a week could commercialize some neighborhoods. Opponents plan to blitz tonight's commission meeting and protest on the sidewalk at City Hall. Let's get back to Jacqueline now in the newsroom for a look at what's trending today.
Scott, take a look at this psychedelic jellyfish. Well, that's how crew members of an explorer vessel with NOAA described it. It's actually called Chrysota milsei and was spotted off of Puerto Rico. Hovering above the seafloor, its stinging tentacles extend and wait for prey. The crew suggested that this unique pose allows for a 360-degree feeding. Well, when you always have on a winter coat, the first snowfall of the season is like Christmas. The Washington Zoo's giant panda, BB, enjoyed every moment of the cold weather on Thursday. His thick, waterproof fur makes for the perfect insulator, of course, giving him some extra pep in his step when those temperatures drop. The 3-year-old panda rolled, climbed, and romped around in the snow, which, let's face it, could that really be any cuter? An anonymous buyer paid more than $56,000 for the wedding dress belonging to slain actress Sharon Tate. Tate was murdered by followers of Charles Manson in 1969. She was just 26 and was pregnant with director Roman Polanski's child at the time. Tate and Polanski were married in London in 1968. At that wedding, she wore this ivory silk mini wedding dress that sold at a California auction on Saturday. Beautiful, isn't it? Well, let's send it back to Scott with today's consumer news. Scott.
Jacqueline, Nissan is planning to dismiss its chairman. The automaker citing an internal investigation that found Carlos Ghosn underreported his income. The investigation, which is based on a whistleblower report, found that Ghosn falsely reported on his compensation over many years. Nissan says the investigation also found misconduct by Ghosn, including the personal use of company assets. A new flight to the west is coming to SRQ. For spring break, United Airlines is offering nonstop service from Sarasota-Bradenton International Airport to Denver. The service will be operated on Saturdays only from March 9th through March 30th of 2019. Tickets are already on sale. With Thanksgiving just days away, the holiday travel crush is set to be the busiest it's been in more than a dozen years now. AAA projects more than 54 million Americans will travel 50 miles or more this Thursday. Now, if you plan on bringing part of that holiday dinner, Transportation Security Administration, the TSA, has some helpful hints for you. Believe it or not, frozen turkeys are allowed, and so is stuffing, but don't plan on bringing any wine or knives in your carry-on luggage, because those will not obviously be allowed. Shoppers get ready to have even more choices this Black Friday. Retailers like Walmart, Target, and Macy's are offering a bunch of options this year to actually get online purchases, including delivery, picking up at a store, or having them delivered to your car in the parking lot. So go crazy this week. Let's get back to Bob now for more on our First Alert forecast. Bob.
'Tis the season for that, right? We are watching some clouds come in from the Gulf of Mexico in advance of a weak cold front that'll move through tomorrow. It'll cool us down for overnight lows, especially, and maybe 1 or 2 showers too possible tomorrow. You can see from the review of the webcam coming from the Van Wezel, these clouds moving in from the Gulf, and that's associated with the upper level winds, which continue to move from the west to the east. Now, temperatures for lows tonight and tomorrow morning will be into the upper 60s to near 70 degrees. Quite the contrast when we had them in the 50s there on Friday and Saturday morning. Temperature 66 in Sebring and 65 in Wauchula. Well, here's the headlines and how they read. A weak cold front again comes into our area Tuesday, late Tuesday afternoon, bringing with it a chance for a shower. Actually some cooler temperatures, slight chance for some slight cooler temperatures on into Wednesday morning and Thursday morning. Lows will be down into the lower 60s. And then Saturday, some showers are in the forecast. So the weekend could be a little bit dicey right now as a stronger front will get close to us, and a little disturbance moving across the Gulf will give us a better chance for some showers, it looks like, and maybe a few isolated thunderstorms. Right now, not a lot of rainfall around. There are a few showers popping up along the west wind, and that's inland areas with temperatures warming into the low 80s there. Still snowing over northern sections of looks like, again, Pennsylvania into southern portions of New York. There's kind of a rain-snow mix there, little clipper system moving on through. I mentioned those high clouds. They continue to stream off from the west to the east overhead, and a few inland showers are starting to develop, but those will be pushing away from the coast, and a little bit more cloudiness with that front located to the north and west of us in the northern Gulf of Mexico. So we can expect a mixture of sun and clouds tomorrow, with temperatures warming again into the upper 70s, and then we'll cool down a little bit for Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. The winds will be out of the northeast tomorrow, and that will switch around to the west later on in the day with a little sea breeze developing in the afternoon. The hourly planner looks to be like this. We'll have a mixture of sun and clouds throughout the day. We'll start off around 70. We'll warm to near 80 degrees in the afternoon, and the rain chance is only at 20% for a few passing showers with that front, and will be a little bit cooler as the front makes its way on through. Again, there's not much to it. It just kind of blows on through, and then we'll see some north to northeast winds, which will cool us down a little bit on Wednesday and on Thanksgiving. There's the little activity I mentioned that'll be pushing over the Gulf of Mexico, which will give us a chance for showers on Saturday. And then even on Sunday, there's a chance for a few showers late in the day as the secondary front pushes on through. We'll look for some cooler temperatures on the long range next week as winds will switch to a northerly direction beginning by Monday and Tuesday of next week. 81 right now. We have some clouds around, and the dew point temperature has come back up into the upper 60s. Current temperatures, there's some very cold air over the northern plain states right now. It's 12 in Minot, but temperatures really warming up in the nation's capital. It's 57 there. A bit cooler in Dallas at 53 behind the front. The highs tomorrow will be in the 30s, right around freezing in Toronto, Chicago, and Minneapolis. Nationally, it's pretty quiet over the central and southern plain states currently, but storms are developing. North winds at 10 knots. Seas will be right around 2 feet. There'll be a light chop on the bays and inland waters, and the forecast for the next 7 days looks good. A slight chance, I mentioned, at 20% for a passing shower late with that front. Notice how the temperatures cool down a little bit in the morning on Wednesday. And Thanksgiving looks good. We'll see a mixture of sun and clouds, partly cloudy day, high temperatures into the mid-70s to upper 70s. And then looks like Black Friday, some shoppers, not too bad. Slight chance for showers, 60% chance of rain comes on Saturday. Be sure to download the ABC7 weather app for free. That's a gift that keeps on giving right there. So again, just go to your app store, do a search for WWSB ABC7 First Alert Weather, and you can get that for free.
Well, Bob, out west, firefighters still desperately battling those California wildfires and waiting for some rainfall. The death toll from the Camp Fire is now climbing. It's up to 80 people now. The search for those missing are centered at shelters and tent camps where whiteboards are filled with the names of those missing and the phone numbers of desperate relatives who are trying to find them. Evacuation orders have since been lifted for some areas, including parts of Malibu, as firefighters successfully stretch containment levels.
And U.S. Health and Human Services has declared a public health emergency in California for the smoke. Smoke advisories have been issued for the affected region amid concerns that smoke could, again from that fire, could present a significant health threat. There are a lot of folks walking around with masks there. For people with asthma and other lung conditions, they're really in danger. Residents have been urged to stay indoors as much as possible and to wear a properly fitted mask when venturing outdoors.
And rain on the way there later?
There are some showers on the way, yes. So finally some rainfall. Now they got to worry about the mudslides because of all that barren land.
All right. Thank you, Bob. Still to come, Thanksgiving isn't even here yet, but we'll tell you how the holiday spirit is already going strong in Vermont.
I'm Linda Carson from Suncoast View. Coming up Tuesday morning live at 9, warm and cuddly skunks pay us a visit. Florida Skunk Rescue shows us how skunks can make great pets. We'll meet the stars of Oslo Rep's newest show, The Music Man. Get to peek into some great Suncoast homes that are for sale. Learn about home decorating trends to glamorize our own homes. And 1812 Austria Bistro is in our kitchen. That's all coming up Tuesday morning, live at 9.
Happy Honda Days are here, and you're gonna like the holiday clearance savings. Save on the Accord, on sale for just $249 a month. That's the North American car of the year for less than the competition. Our most impressive Honda ever, on clearance for only $249 a month, loaded with more options, including a turbocharged engine and Honda Sensing. Do not miss these Honda clearance savings this week at your local Honda dealer.
America was built on a love for the outdoors. We are a nation of sportsmen, blessed with magnificent natural resources. With broad interests across water and field, we are united in our devotion to nature and conservation. Join us every week for the best shows celebrating the outdoor lifestyle. Outdoor America. Live free.
This weekend on the ABC7 live stream.
Addiction is a dark place. But just as each new day breaks, there is light. A light that illuminates the people by your side. Out of the darkness, you are walking with 22 million others struggling with addiction. The cure to darkness is light. The cure to stigma is love. And the cure to disease is treatment. Join us as we walk into the dawn of a new day. Together, we are stronger than addiction. Learn more at chatterproof.org.
It's year-end clearance time at every Gettle location. Over 3,000 new vehicles, over 1,000 used vehicles on clearance right now at Gettle.com. And Gettle Pre-Owned Certified Plus means buying with peace of mind. Get credit help, fast cash for your car, and year-end clearance prices right now at a Gettle dealership near you. Gettle's got it. At Gettle.com.
The body, it is a work of art and a powerful ally in the fight against cancer. A new approach called immunotherapy works by helping our immune system correctly identify and eradicate many types of cancer cells. Speak with your doctor and visit su2c.org/immunotherapy to learn more. Your body might just be your greatest hope.
You know, fortunately, this was my first job out of college, so I was able to come back home and work in my hometown. I wore two hats. I was sports director and I was a news anchor. I did that for a few years and then decided to go full-time into news. Well, I love our team here at ABC7. We have a great mix, and it really is a great mix of personalities, of experience that meshes really well into a really strong team. I'm Scott Dennis, and I'm here for you.
Watch Suncoast View weekdays at 9 a.m. on ABC7.
A secret Santa Claus bestowed early Christmas cheer on some Walmart shoppers. The mystery man selflessly paid for strangers' layaway purchases. Ike Ben David reports.
A Christmas miracle in the Northeast Kingdom.
I don't even think I can find the words to say.
Julie Gates went to pick up a package on Thursday at the Derby Walmart. While in line, she overheard a conversation.
He came up to the guy in front of me and said, either I'm going to pay for it now or I'm going to pay for it later.
Then he turned to her and he asked if she was paying for an item on layaway.
And he said, well, why don't you run and get what you want now and come back here?
Gates was skeptical, but putting items on layaway was why she was there in the first place.
So I came back and he was standing there waiting. There was no one left. He was just standing there waiting for me to come back.
He paid for everything.
This can't be. Who can afford to just pay for everyone's layaway? And he said, Santa Claus can.
This is the storage room filled floor to ceiling with Christmas gifts, electronics, toys, whatever it is. And now they're all paid for.
Kind of like surreal, like when you said, oh, no balance due or whatever, and then it was really a reality.
I thought it was a rumor.
Walmart couldn't say how much the mystery shopper spent or how many people went home with free gifts. And this is the only photo we have of the man.
There were people ahead of me that were $800, $900 layaways.
And many say this is more than just free Christmas gifts. It's making sure people can now pay for what's important.
It really helped me out a lot.
Tammy Desautel says money has been tough since her husband broke his foot. She says gifts are now one less thing to worry about going into the cold winter months.
I really have a feeling that there's hope for the mankind or whatever, you know, that there's still good people out there.
Recipients still in shock.
So I want to thank them.
Especially Gates.
I get goosebumps thinking that that is the true magic of Christmas. That's the Christmas spirit walking amongst us.
Saint Nick himself, or maybe an elf, we may never know. Reporting from Derby, Ike Ben David.
Ike Ben David there reporting. Let's get to Jacqueline now in the newsroom with a look at some of the other stories we're working on tonight. Jacqueline?
Scott, students on the Suncoast are putting their carpentry skills to good use to help those in need. Coming up at 5, we'll hear how they're turning ordinary shipping containers into tiny homes for the homeless. And at 6, how a new form of DNA technology is helping police solve cold cases right here in Sarasota. And at 7, Sarasota County voters have approved a referendum to extend the Legacy Trail. What's next for the miles-long path and trails? Let's send it back to Bob for a final look at your 4 o'clock forecast.
Good afternoon, everyone. If you're heading out for the sunset tonight or for a beach walk, here's the forecast. We're calling for a few clouds around. Winds will be out of the west at around 5 to 10 miles an hour. No real threat of any significant rainfall. Most of it's inland right now. We'll show you that in a minute. But sunset at 5:37. And as far as the rain goes, we had a little sea breeze front action developing and pushing off toward the east. It developed shortly around 2 o'clock this afternoon and then moved off to the east. There's not much left to it. There's a few showers out here in the Gulf of Mexico. I don't think they'll have enough energy to hold on, but we'll keep an eye on it for you. Right there is that rainfall. It's moderate to heavy in some areas there near Fruitville Road, stretching off to near Verna Road, and looks like, again, pushing off basically to the east and northeast at around 10 miles an hour. You can see that once again kind of developing along that sea breeze front. More in the forecast later. Scott?
Thank you, Bob. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you again at 5.